Welcome to our social psychology class. I am really excited to be going through this experience with you, especially as getting laptops and working in an online format is new for so many of us. I thought it might be helpful if I gave you a little tour of our class on Canvas and showed you one way that you could look at working through the class. So this is the home page when you log into the course. When you look over here on the left-hand side, this is what's known as the menu. This one right here, the first group of words right here, this is the menu for our course. When you go all the way over here to the left, this is what's known as the Canvas menu. So when you navigate over here, it's going to take you to different things in Canvas. So if I click here on home, this is the page that it will take you to. If I want to go to different places in the course, I can click on these. So if I want to go to quizzes and take a quiz, I can do that by clicking over here in the menu. But I recommend working through the course by working through the modules, and you can do that by using this home page to navigate. So for example, right now we're in week 1. So you would want to click on week 1. And when you do that, it's going to take you to the week 1 module. So you see that right up here, week 1, module 1, introducing social psychology. And what you would do is just begin at the beginning of the module. So click on that and it takes you to a page where it's going to introduce our first module, which is coincides with the first chapter in the textbook. So I like to begin with a quote just to get you thinking about the topic. I tell you a little bit about what we're going to be studying that week. Then if you continue to scroll down, so move down through the page, it'll tell you learning objectives. So this is what we're going to be learning for the week. These bullet points. And then in order to meet these learning objectives, these are the learning activities that you're going to complete. So it says we're going to define social psychology, explain connections between social psychology and other academic disciplines, describe the historical development, how did social psychology come to be, and then compare social psychology with this idea of common sense. And you'll read about that in the textbook. In order to do that, you're going to read the course syllabus, and that's here. You can locate it right here over in the menu. You're going to introduce yourself. There's an assignment where you'll fill out a page called Introduce Yourself. That just helps me as the instructor. You'll read chapter 1 of the textbook. You'll complete the chapter 1 quiz. I know we've had quite a few issues with that. My apologies. We'll get through this. You do need consistent Wi-Fi in order to complete the quiz. Once it starts, if it gets interrupted, it's going to kick you out and it's going to stop the quiz and upload a score for you. So we'll work through this. And if that continues to happen, I'll just have to give you more attempts for the quiz. So we'll communicate and make sure that works for you. And then you have the discussion board or the discussions. This is an assignment. I noticed that we've been using it to kind of talk to each other, and I get it. It's exciting. So that's fine too, but do make sure that you use it to submit your discussion assignment, and we'll take a look at that. And then you come down here at the bottom where it says next, and that's going to take us to the next page, which is that introduce yourself assignment. And when you're ready, your page, so this is an instructor page, it looks different than yours, you'll have a submit button and it will allow you to type right there on the page, and you'll answer these 4 questions and click submit, and you'll have completed that assignment. So make sure that you complete that this week. Again, go to the bottom and click next. In every module, I've downloaded a copy of that chapter of the textbook. So hopefully you have a hard copy, but you can also just work through reading the textbook here. So that is there for you. You can also download a copy of it. If I go back up here to the top, this arrow right here, when I click download, if I do that, I think it'll take it, you'll see it down here at my bottom of my computer. And you can, it'll say show in folder, and it'll appear onto your laptop, and you can save it, and then you'll have a downloaded copy. I'm not sure why you would need to do that because it's here. But just so you know, you can do that. Then here is the quiz. I think a lot of us have seen this already, but just you can read up here. It does tell you once you start the quiz, you can't stop it. You have 30 minutes. It is timed. You can use your book and use your notes. I recommend that you thoroughly read the textbook first, take notes, and then attempt the quiz. So it really is assessing how well you read and understand the textbook. Okay. There is a critical thinking assignment. So each week you're going to respond to a critical thinking question. Make sure that you follow these directions. So copy and include the assigned critical thinking question. Your response needs to be at least 250 words. It's about a half a page typed, and edit your writing carefully. So just do the very best that you can. So here is the critical thinking question for week 1. So you just copy and paste this or type it into your response and then provide your answer. I like to say there's not a right or wrong for these answers, but there could be a wrong if you don't answer it or you just kind of leave it hanging. But discuss social influences. This is discussed in chapter 1 and how they affect human behavior. Provide an example of social influence you have seen either personally or in society. So just make sure that you have an appropriate response that has to do with social influences. All right. This is what's called a rubric. A rubric is what's used to grade your assignment. So I will use this to grade the critical thinking assignment. So you can read through it and see what I'm looking for. To earn full points, which is 10 points for the assignment, you would want to have these items. And then finally, this is going to take us to the discussion. So the purpose of the discussion is communication skills. You're going to post a response, your ideas, and then people will reply to your ideas. So in your post, you're going to format your discussion. Please number each part of your post. So your post should have a number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then you will choose a specific term, a theory, or a concept that is covered in. So for the first discussion, we're looking at chapters 1, 2, or 3. You can choose any of those chapters. Summarize it in a concise yet informative manner. And it says the topic should be more specific than the general topic of each chapter. So for example, chapter 1 is introduction to social psychology. So you don't want to just use social psychology. That's a pretty broad term. So pick something specific. Describe how the topic applies to your life. That's number 2. Number 3, how can you use this new knowledge to improve your life or lives around you? And then for number 4, you're going to post a question that classmates can respond to. So it's kind of getting a discussion going. And then your post, this first discussion, is due by Wednesday, February 16th. And this will allow time for others to reply to the post, which is all of it is finally due by the following Sunday, February 20th. All right. Just gives you some other information. An ideal reply will incorporate new information from outside sources. Maybe you've got another book that you've been reading that you want to share information. You can share information from the textbook, but please do not copy. All right. So we don't want to copy word for word, but if you want to use a direct quote, that would be okay. Make sure you use quotation marks and the name of the textbook where you got the quote. Or if you just want to paraphrase, so you can say in this, in the textbook it says, and then put it in your own words. The post your original post needs to be 300 words. So that's just over, maybe a couple paragraphs. And then when you reply to your classmates, you want your reply to be at least 150 words. So what that means is you don't want to reply to someone and say, great idea, right? And you write 2 words and that's the end. So what you want to say is really give a thorough, detailed, and thoughtful reply to someone else's post. Answer their question, give your response to it. What do you think about what they had to say? If you disagree, make sure that you politely disagree. Maybe share a differing point of view. You can let them know that you validate what they have to say, you agree with what they have to say, but you can also see it from another perspective. So there are polite and appropriate ways to disagree with people or share differing points of view. I do want to point out down here, so where it says this is a sample post, I did post an example here just so you can kind of see what a formatted post would look like, with numbering. These are headings. Notice that I bolded them, so it's kind of easy to see. And this just makes it easier to read when a post is nicely formatted. You can see the different assigned parts. You can see the question here. And then here was a citation where this student used the textbook. So you know where the information came from. So down here, that takes us to the end of the module. And at the end of every module, I include a student instructor interaction form. If you've been doing any correspondence courses with Southwestern College, you're familiar with that form where you could ask questions, but then you had to wait 2 weeks for the instructor to respond. This way you can simply type your questions in this survey, and then when I see them, I'll be able to respond to you in real time. Now, please know that you're also able to just message me in the inbox, and I'm happy to reply to your questions there. So 2 ways that you can share questions or concerns or things that you're enjoying and just want to tell me what you're learning about. Happy to receive that information and communicate with you in that way. And I believe this takes us to the end of the module. So you'll see this. You did it. You've reached the end of the module. This week, these are the things that you learned, and these are the assignments that you completed. So it's kind of a way to check yourself and make sure, did I read the chapter? Did I do the quiz? Did I do the discussion? And so you're able to kind of check yourself. Congratulations. See you next week. And then if you click next, then you're able to move into the next module. So I hope this was helpful. I hope it showed you a way to navigate through the course. The expectations in every module will have that same format. So if you begin at the beginning of the module and work your way through, each module will look the same. Again, welcome to the course. I'm excited to be working with you. I should have introduced myself. I'm Stephanie Hall. I'm the instructor for social psychology. Really looking forward to this opportunity. Don't hesitate to reach out with questions, concerns, or things that are going well for you. And with that, good luck in the course.